What's good, y'all? So the trade deadline is quickly approaching. It's October 29th. So it is next week. It's next week. Now, I moved on from the game from yesterday. It was a slip and slide game. Only thing I don't like is that there's been a lot of cocky 49ers fans saying they would have beat us by 30 or whatever if the weather was good. Like I said, Jimmy G, I don't believe in Jimmy G, but I moved on from that game. That's just excuses to me. That's big excuses. The Eagles looked awful last night. They looked bad. They looked really bad. I think the players don't believe in Carson Wentz. And I tried to tell Eagles fans before they should have kept Nick Foles instead of keeping Carson Wentz. But we'll just focus on the Redskins for now. I'm disappointed. I wanted the Eagles to beat the Cowboys. I really did. And I told Eagles fans when they beat us and they barely beat us 32-27, I told them not to be happy about that win. And you can look at my comments and from that first game and see what they said. But I told the Eagles, I told them not to be happy about that win because their secondary is trash. They let Case Keenum have 380 yards, and Case Keenum could have had 400 yards if he didn't miss Terry McLaurin in that first game. And we would have won that game, I think, if he would have converted that pass to Terry McLaurin where he overthrew him by like 10 yards where Terry was wide the freak open. I tried to tell Eagles fans that they were frauds. I tried to tell them that, and I'm mad the Cowboys won, but Eagles are frauds. They are frauds, I'm telling you. So this video is, of course, you see the title. I just want to make a video about players we should trade before the trade deadline on October 29th. Obviously, we should trade Trent Williams. Bruce Allen, people call him Bruceless. Hashtag Bruceless Allen. Obviously, we should trade Trent Williams. But Bruce said he doesn't want to do that until January. That's where reports are coming out now. A lot of teams are offering. I say, we can even trade him to the Cardinals. If we get a first-round pick from the Cardinals, that would be a win because that should be a fairly high pick. Kyler Murray's playing well. He outplayed Daniel Jones yesterday. He got the W over the Giants. He needs a left tackle that can protect him, and the Cardinals do not like their left tackle. That's the same thing with the Browns. The Browns don't like their left tackle either. So obviously John Dorsey has been calling us, texting us, whatever he's been doing, trying to get in contact with Bruce Allen. Bruce Allen has said no. John Dorsey has been on the record to say in the press conference it takes two to tango for that trade. I think we can get a second rounder and David Njoku, the tight end, or we could get a second rounder and Denzel Ward, or a third rounder and Denzel Ward, the cornerback. That would be a fair trade in my opinion. Or a lot of people were saying Odell Beckham. I was kind of against Odell because Odell's just a head case. He's a nutcase. You saw what happened with the Giants where he did the interview with Josina Anderson. You saw him with a picture with the girl with what looked like some nose candy, allegedly with a white substance. It's just, can you really trust Odell Beckham? Can you trust him on and off the field? The kicking net incident where he hit the kicking net, hit him right in the head, where we beat them 2 years ago in MetLife Stadium. Can you really trust Odell Beckham to keep his head on the street? He's not as crazy as Antonio Brown, but he's as crazy as you can get. So the trade for Trent Williams for Odell, I was kind of hesitant on that, but then I overthought it again, and I was like, you know what? Our receivers are so trash, other than Terry, really, and they're not really given an opportunity. Trey Quinn, Calvin Harmon hasn't been given an opportunity, and Cam Sims hasn't really been given an opportunity to showcase their skills, and they don't have a proper cornerback. Case Keenum's just not good enough to really get these guys the football. So, but if Odell came here, it would be the same mess. He would be crying. He would hate Case. And we'll see how he would, like Dwayne Haskins. We have to develop Dwayne Haskins. So trading for Odell might not be the best thing possible, to be honest with you. It might not. And another thing was Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel Sanders is available. The Broncos have made him available. If we did trade him to the Broncos, because the Broncos, their offensive line is trash. They said their left tackle themselves. They said that he's trash. The fans have said that they're left. I don't even know his name, but they've said that he's trash. I think he was a former first-round pick for the Broncos. If we traded for Emmanuel Sanders at the wide receiver position, I honestly think that would be a good trade. I think Emmanuel Sanders and Terry McLaurin, those guys paired up, even though they're not tall receivers, I think they're both really darn good receivers. Emmanuel Sanders is still a number one receiver in this league. So we would have two number one receivers with Terry and Emmanuel Sanders. So, or we could just trade him to the Broncos and get a first-round pick in return. I would like that as well. So those are the trade scenarios for Trent Williams, in my opinion. The Chiefs, we could trade him to the Chiefs. If we get a first-round pick from the Chiefs, it's going to be a late-round pick. It's going to be like the 30th pick of the draft or something like that, because the Chiefs are obviously going to go to the AFC Championship or even the Super Bowl when Pat Mahomes gets healthy. So those are the scenarios that I thought about. The Vikings as well. The Vikings have an intriguing scenario as well. They did talk about including Kyle Rudolph and sending him to us. Kyle Rudolph and a second-round pick for Trent Williams. I like that. Kyle Rudolph is a tough tight end. He's a very good pass-catching tight end. He's a lot better than any of the tight ends that we have right now, and he's just better. Jordan Reed's just not staying healthy. He cannot stay healthy at all. Vernon Davis is 34 years old. I think it's time to move on from him as well. And I like Sprinkle. Sprinkle needs to develop, but we do need another tight end. Even if Sprinkle was playing really, really good, we still need an additional tight end to step up because we let guys like J.B. Holtz go. Flanagan was awful. We let a lot of our tight ends leave because we thought Jordan Reed was going to come back healthy. That just never happened. And Vernon Davis is just old. They do have Xavier Rhodes on the Vikings as well. They did talk about a package of sending Kyle Rudolph and Xavier Rhodes and a 4th-round pick for Trent. I think that's a good deal in my opinion, but Xavier Rhodes could come here and be another Josh Norman because he is older. But Xavier Rhodes is still a formidable cornerback in this league. But, cornerbacks come here to die. They really do, like Josh Norman. Cornerbacks come here and start stinking it up just like Josh Norman. So I would rather just draft a cornerback. But if we can get Kyle Rudolph, I would definitely love that trade. Kyle Rudolph in a 2nd-round pick because we do not have a 2nd-round pick. I like Kyle Rudolph a lot. I really do. I think he would be good for the Washington Redskins. I really do. Some other trades I thought that could happen. Rashard Higgins from the Browns as well. He's a wide receiver. And Tano Callaway. Maybe we could package up them. There was another trade scenario which said a third. I want to say it was a 1st round. Rashard Higgins, Njoku to the Redskins for Trent and a 6th-round pick. Now that is an intriguing deal as well. I would probably make that trade as well. If it was up to me. Now, players that we should get rid of from the Washington Redskins. A lot of people are saying Brandon Sheriff. He has been underwhelming this year, in my opinion. But I would not trade him. I would not trade him. Now, I don't know if he's going to come back. If he has not signed that extension, we did offer Brandon Sheriff $13 million. I want to say $13.5 million a year, an extension that we just offered a couple weeks ago, and he still has not accepted that deal. That is very concerning. Now, Brandon Sheriff is in the last year of his contract this year, and if you had to guess, if I had to put money down, I really don't think he's going to resign. I really do. So you do have to think about trading Brandon Sheriff. I think we could get a 1st-round pick in return for Brandon Sheriff. He has been an All-Pro. He's been a Pro Bowler. He was injured last year. That's the only red flag. And then this year he has been underwhelming with the holding penalties. So he has not lived up to the hype this season. O.J. Howard from the Buccaneers. That is an intriguing play right there, the tight end. If we could give up a 3rd-round pick for him, that would be a good move. But in my opinion, I would just keep our picks because we're not close. We should be sellers rather than buyers before the trade deadline. Now, Josh Norman, we need to get rid of Josh Norman. We need to trade Josh Norman. I don't care if we get a 6th-round pick, a 5th-round pick, 7th-round pick. I think we should just cut bait with the guy. Trade Josh Norman. He's just a shell of himself. He has no confidence in himself. He gets beat like a drum. His middle name is Toast. Josh Toast Norman. We need to trade Josh Norman as soon as possible because if not, we're probably just going to release him in the offseason anyway. We just need to trade him. Get a 6th-round. I would take a 6th-round pick for Josh Norman, to be honest with you. I really seriously would. I would take a 6th-round pick for Josh Norman. A lot of people saying, I read a Bleacher Report article saying that we might trade Ryan Anderson. I think that's false. They said we would get a 5th-round pick in return for him. He was a 2nd-round pick. They said the Steelers are desperate. Now, teams that we could trade Josh Norman to, I think we could trade him to the Steelers. The Steelers were desperate to get Micah Fitzpatrick. I think they're thin at the cornerback position. The Eagles are terrible in the secondary. I think they're desperate. They would probably take Josh Norman. They might even be desperate enough to give us a 4th-round pick for Josh Norman. That's how desperate the Eagles are, really, seriously, at their secondary position. They've gotten torched by every team. The Vikings just torched them. The Cowboys just torched them. Aaron Rodgers torched them. Case Keenum torched them. The Lions torched them. The list goes on and on. Their secondary is the worst, basically almost worse than our secondary. They are that bad. The Eagles' secondary is that bad. And I'm not lying to you. They are that bad. Josh Norman, a lot of people saying we should trade Adrian Peterson. I don't think so. I don't think we're getting any value for him. Colt McCoy, we can trade Colt McCoy. That would be awesome. A lot of people say to trade Case Keenum. I wouldn't mind that either. I don't know what pick. We would probably get like a 6th or 7th-round pick for Colt McCoy. Maybe the Chiefs would be looking for him. Or Case or Colt with Pat Mahomes out. But I think they're going to ride it out with Matt Moore. I just don't see any teams that will really want Colt McCoy or even want Case Keenum. Unless somebody gets injured before the deadline, who knows? Who else did I want to talk about? I think that's basically it. Oh, Paul Richardson. We need to trade Paul Richardson. It's time to move on. We got to get out of that contract. I think we're in rebuild mode. We need to get we really should get the 1st pick of the draft. That's what we really need to do. I want to get the first pick. I've given up on this season. I'm done. We need to think about our future. We need to play Dwayne Haskins. I don't care if he loses games, struggles, and throws picks. He needs to get playing time. He needs to get exposure to this league. We can stop. We can't. It's a new age. It's a new age. You don't put quarterbacks and sit them down anymore. And it's hard to do that when you have bums or inferior quarterbacks like Case Keenum and Colt McCoy in front of them, who are probably doing worse than what Dwayne Haskins would do, or just as bad. So it's time to get Dwayne Haskins in there and get some playing time for him. I did hear Chris Thompson say that he basically said on the Junkies this morning, say that he did not think Dwayne Haskins should play. He needs to redshirt and not play at all. I am in disagreement with that. I think Dwayne needs to play and get some playing time. He needs to get his feet wet. He's a young pup. He's wet behind the ears. He needs to get out there and play and get some exposure and get ready. Get some real playing time. Get some real reps. No time. He's not getting better by watching Case Keenum throw interceptions and watching Colt McCoy throw picks and run around like chickens with their heads cut off. This is not helping him. Now, if you want to talk about Pat Mahomes had a legitimate starter in front of him in Alex Smith, who took the Chiefs to the playoffs the year while Pat Mahomes was sitting on the bench. And this is the complete opposite of Alex Smith. This is the complete opposite. You got guys throwing picks and fumbling the football left and right, where Alex Smith never turned the football over. That was Alex Smith's thing, was not turning the football over. So this is not helping Dwayne Haskins at all, in my opinion, by setting him behind two mediocre quarterbacks. It's honestly making him worse. If you think about it, watching these two guys just fool around and fumble the ball and throw picks, it's really making him worse. Paul Richardson, we need to trade him. Like I said, just hanging on to Quentin Dunbar, of course. He's our best corner by far on the team. Ryan Kerrigan, I really don't want to trade Ryan Kerrigan, but he's been really inconsistent. I think at best we probably get a third-round pick for him. So those are the guys that we could really sell and possibly get some picks in return. We need to load up on draft picks. Load up. And the worse you are, you'll get the third-round pick, but it will be a high third-round pick. So you got to think of it. You got to be smart. Because when we suck, when we're terrible, we go 1-15, 2-14, whatever. You'll have the third-round pick, but it will be the second pick of the third round, if you get what I'm saying. So you will have a high third-round pick. And if you draft right, Kyle Smith, Antonio Brown was he, a fifth-round pick? There's a lot of guys that were late-round picks. Tom Brady, sixth-round pick. So if you get late picks, and if we load up on picks, we can draft a quarterback in a later round to back up Dwayne Haskins. We can cut bait with Colt McCoy. We can cut bait with Case Keenum. Get rid of those contracts. We can just draft a quarterback maybe in the fourth round or the fifth round to back up Dwayne Haskins and just start young, man, and just be a young team. Load up on offensive linemen, draft Andrew Thomas with the top 5 pick. Or, like I said, if we can get the first pick, we can trade it back with the Dolphins. So those are the moves I think we should make before the trade deadline. Mohamed Sanu for the Falcons has been made available. So that's an interesting trade. I would only give up a fourth-round pick for Mohamed Sanu. So let me know what you think we should do before the trade deadline. Let me know what you guys think we should do. Those are just some moves up in the air that we could possibly make. So those are the guys I see. Emmanuel Sanders, like I said, I like Emmanuel Sanders. I don't know, because we're not in win now mode. Maybe we could just draft a wide receiver. I don't know, CeeDee Lamb, if he can fall to the second round. Or if we can get another first-round pick somehow and maybe draft him before the 15th pick. That would be a great move. If we can just trade Trent, we just got to trade. Bruce is so freaking stupid. My gosh, I hate Bruce Allen. He's so stupid. We just need to trade and load up on picks. So let me know what y'all think, man. Let me know what y'all think. Trade deadline is October 29th. I will be talking about the Vikings game in my next video. I will be making a Washington Wizards preview video as well. So I got a lot of videos on the way, man. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely comment. Always respond to comments, man. Always see what you guys say. So definitely comment, like, subscribe if you have not to the channel. A lot of Washington Redskins. Hail to them Nationals, man. Hail to them Nationals. Hail to the Mystics, too. Teams in D.C. that actually win. All right, y'all. Hail to them Skins. Hail to the Wizards. All right, y'all. Peace.